All right, it looks like we got the heads done. Good job, man, guys. Good job. We got a complete valve job done. This thing is like brand new. Right. We're underneath the carport today. We're doing caveman style repairs. Yeah, we don't have a shop yet. We're gonna do this right on the concrete. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. We just keep everything clean and we make sure we do everything correctly. So right now we're back on the 2.4, guys, and we're gonna take off this water pump. It's this tube is compressed between two housings, the water pump housing, or the water pump, and the thermostat housing over here. We have three 10mm bolts right there on this housing, just so you guys can get a view of the back side of the motor, because I know it's hard to see with it inside the motor like this. You can actually see your bolts and stuff, what you have to take off. Give you an idea what you're going to be dealing with when you're doing this inside the motor. You also got a couple bolts here, a couple bolts here. You got one big 13mm that goes all the way through the water pump, and it connects back up to the motor. Okay, so, and this one as well. Down here, another long bolt, and the other ones are 10mm. So let's pull out these 10s. Let's pull off this, and let's pull off these 10mm around here first. All right. You guys see what I'm doing? Just showing you. I'm just going to twist this off. There's some big O-rings in there. One big O-ring on that side, and there's also another big O-ring in there. There's one as well right in here. All right, we're just going to lay that to the side for right now. I think there's another bolt in there somewhere. Where are you at? Yeah, there's another bolt. And the other bolt, as I forgot about it, yep, is right there. So one in the front, two big 13mm on the back. Let's take those off, and we should be able to get the water pump out. And there she is, ladies and gents. Alright, got some new O-rings. Putting the cover on the water pump. Install the water pump. Verify that the gasket is in there. We're going to get the long bolts in there first. Long bolt, long bolt, long bolt. I don't know what the torque's supposed to be on it, but I wouldn't imagine it would be too much, just for the simple fact that it has an O-ring on it. That's one of the things you can pay attention to when you start putting things together again. New guys, is if it has an O-ring on it, more than likely the bolt's not supposed to be caveman super tech tight, okay, just tight. I'm guessing probably 15 foot-pounds, something like that. 7 to 15. Guessing. I'm not going to get the specs for you guys, but if you want to torque it out, you're going to have to find your own specs. That's ugly. That's ugly, Hayes. That's ugly, Hayes. Hayes, at least get some specs for them. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do to get you some specs. Because I know you guys, there's a couple of you guys that, man, if I got the specifications, I can't do the job. Just get them tight. Just get it tight. They don't want you to over tighten them. They don't want you to under tighten them. So trying to get somewhere in the middle. You know, what are you tightening up? Aluminum, steel. Aluminum, I would not be trying to tighten it down because you can strip threads out of aluminum. Know what you're screwing into. It would help out a lot. Go ahead and stick a new one in there. Make sure it's nice and clean. And it is. Let's get this bad boy over here. Another pretty good tip for the new guys that have electric, or they just got some electric tools. When you do shit like this, aluminum on aluminum, aluminum on aluminum, you do not want to like use your rear ratchet and tighten it down like a freaking caveman, all right? Just take it easy. Take it easy. Just go, if you're gonna do it, just go barely push the handle and stop. When it stops, then use the ratcheting part of the ratchet. That way you won't snap off bolts or break off bolts in the housing, and then you're going to be spending hours trying to drill it out. Or just, what I tell the rookies that you work for me sometimes is use hand tools. There's no such thing as this. You practice with hand tools. You practice with the hand tools first, and then when you get a feel for things, then yeah, you'll graduate to an air gun or an electric ratchet. The fundamentals first. You got to get the fundamentals first. That should be enough. This is another one that has an O-ring on it, so you don't want to over tighten them. If the O-ring is going to seal, all you have to do is get them squeezed together. Squeeze the rubber and a little bit of tightness. That's it. This is done, man. Let's move on. All right, so we have successfully installed a new water pump, put new piping, new O-rings, and installed the housing in about record time. About 15 minutes on the ground. Engine outside of the vehicle. I wasn't going to do this vehicle. If it wasn't outside the vehicle, I wasn't going to do it. This motor, this Malibu, is actually not too bad to get the motor out. So I said, yeah, I'm going to save time right there. 2 hours to pull the motor out. And I don't have to get on the ground and do all that crawling and hand, you know. Yeah, it was worth it to me. We're also going to be doing this Honda, a timing chain on this Honda. I'm going to get it started today and I'll finish it up tomorrow. I'm just going to play around with getting this motor today. So let's keep focused, guys. So now let's clean up the head gasket area. We'll install the head gasket and install the head. Let's do it. Get ready to get the head gasket area cleaned up. Let's clean up the mating surface and we'll throw a gasket on there and we'll, you know, do what we got to do. Let's get it. That gets them in. The heads are completely done. Valve job on all of them. The heads are completely done, cleaned, and everything. It's beautiful. All right, there we go. Let's lay a head gasket on there. All right, got a whole new set. Head gasket. All right, installing the head gasket. Okay, so the head gasket can only go in one way. This hole right there and that hole right there are two different sizes. There's a dowel pin over there, just to show you. It can't fit in that hole. So flip it, and everything matches up beautifully, right? Get this one in there. Gently. This doesn't want to act right. That looks beautiful, guys. So let's drop this head in there. See, it's nice and pretty and clean right now. Let's do it. Let's drop the bad boy in there. All right. It looks beautiful. All right. What? All right, good. Okay, it's always fun putting stuff back together again. Well, not always, but you know, I'm trying to have fun today. You can see a little bit of grease where he reinstalled my valves. It just looks really good. It's nice and clean. Okay, let's get some head bolts in there. All right, went ahead and installed all the head bolts. We got 4 more to do. Those are those torque bolts, if you remember. They look like that, inverted. We can go ahead and do a couple turns on every bolt at this time and make sure we got them all started. And you do that on no matter what you do, valve covers, oil pans, transmission pans. If you're gonna put it on there, just make sure all of them got a couple threads in there. That way if you use a driver of some sort, you're not gonna strip threads out. All right, always get like one. I was always taught when I was a rookie, let me warp it. It's just turn it 3 times. That's all you need. So I'm telling you that, I'm passing it forward 3 times, and then you can get your drivers, your impacts, or whatever you're gonna use. You better do that than stripping bolts and drilling things out and wasting time. Time is money out here. So you want to be as efficient as possible. You want to be efficient as possible. All right, guys, as promised, this is the cylinder head torque sequence right here. There you go. Torque sequence. Right. It says the first pass. Let's back it up. The first pass, 22 foot-pounds. The final pass, 155 degrees on the cylinder head. 155 degrees. All right, what else can I show you? Front cylinder head bolts, 26 foot-pounds. That's it, 26 foot-pounds and stop. Okay, camshaft bearings is 89 inches. 89 inch-pounds on the camshaft bearing caps. Okay, So I torqued them all. I'll give you the torque specs again. 22 the first revolution, and then 155 degrees, which is almost a half turn on the bolts after that. These are 26 foot-pounds, these four in here, and leave them alone, and that's good. Now we're gonna start putting the the lifters in there now. I usually let these soak, but if they haven't been out of the vehicle that long, and I'm gonna spray them down with a little oil, but that's all I'm gonna do. I'm dropping them in the hole. I'm gonna put a little oil. I just pulled it out, and all these rocker caps, they're all numbered with an arrow pointing to the front of the engine. So this will be, exhaust side will be 1, 2. There's a 3 down there. You probably can't see it, but there's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Front of the motor. It's got a little arrow pointing that way. Just checking them. All of them are torqued. Okay, good. All right, let's inspect our work. Make sure all these rollers are in their spot. Okay. And we don't have some new phasers, so I'm gonna hold off. No phasers are those. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the intakes, install the exhaust, and do as much as I can until my phasers get here. All right, let's go ahead and get this this lower chain, the balance chain, done. There's a little mark right there, colored link. 12 o'clock, about 6 o'clock, that little line right there. Wrap it around the water pump. Down here, and down here you'll see another line right there. Just put that black link on that tooth right there. I don't know if I can do it while I'm on the phone, but I'll try. Yes, I did it. I did it. All right, so that's in time. So now all we gotta do is put our tensioners in there, and we'll be good. Let's do it. All right, let's install the upper guide first. Look at how this one is designed, the outer edge on top, just like that. We'll install your bolt. Your bolts look something like that. All right, 89 foot-pounds is the torque on these. Okay. All right, now once you install all the guides, you install the tensioner, you can go ahead and recheck your alignment mark, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you're lined up down there as well. When you do that, you can pull the pin. I like saving these pins in my toolbox. You'll use them again. It's a good idea. Okay, so that's it on that. Now we got to get the upper chain on there and new phasers. All right, guys, let's get the main chain on there. Okay. Well, once you get your parts, if you order them online, you want to make sure these sprockets line up. Dowel pins is what I usually go by. If you flip them upside down, you put the dowel pins in the same orientation, and you just flip them like that. Everything should line up. The arrow is right there. The arrow is right there. It looks good. And you do the same thing with the exhaust or the intake, whatever you do first. All right, so let's go ahead and get the chain on there. I already dropped it in there. The bolt was not in there yet. I just dropped it in. If you look down in there, you'll see a little separation in the casting. You got to make sure this chain gets on one side of the casting and the other one gets on the other side, so you can pull it over here. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that if this chain is caught up on that little piece down inside there. Now at this point, you just drop our guide down in the hole. You'll see it come out from the bottom, and go ahead and put the bolt in there. All right, you want to use the long bolt on this one. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see if we can get these colored links. All right, I want you to notice the crankshaft gear. Look at the teeth. You can see they're worn a little bit on this one, but look how fat and healthy these are looking over here. So there's definitely wear on these sprockets. You want to go ahead and change out the sprockets too. You want to notice where the timing mark is on the old one. Verify it on the new one. So that would automatically tell you that this is going to be on the front of the, it's going to be facing out. Okay. And I'm going to do that. There's our mark right there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Yeah, you can see it. All right, good. Let's go ahead and tighten up. Go counterclockwise on the cam gear. Get it tight. All right, this is probably the most challenging, I guess I could say. Not challenging, it's not bad. It's just pulling this cam back counterclockwise, because when you install this phaser right here, you don't want to lock it in. Okay, you want to get the chain on there. I'm not going to take it off again because it's a pain in the ass. It's challenging. But take the cam off so it's not locked into the camshaft. Go ahead and put the chain on its appropriate mark. Okay, make sure the chains are on the mark, and then kind of wiggle it on the shaft back here so it'll float, it'll be moving. And then in order to get this phaser locked into that little dowel pin I showed you in the camshaft, you're going to have to turn this counterclockwise. Turn it counterclockwise, and that way this will turn counterclockwise until it locks in, and then you just pop it in there. All right, that's how that works. Mine's already popped in. I couldn't video it. I didn't have a stand or anything like that, so I thought I'd just explain it. Okay, it's not a real big deal. I say challenging, but it's actually probably level 1 mechanic. Okay, level 1 mechanic can do that. All right, guys, so man, we're having fun. What else can we do? All right, let's go ahead and get this last guide in there. We verified that all our alignment marks are right. All right, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and stick this one in there. I think it goes like this. Yeah, the big, well, it goes like, how's it go? It goes like this. It goes like this. Just like that. And you see it goes right into the guide. We go ahead and put our bolt in there. It's going to be a bolt that looks like that. And on the top, through that hole, you'll see another spot where you got to put the other bolt. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Tighten it up to 89 foot-pounds. Inch-pounds. Guys, you guys see all that gap in there? That's what the tensioner does right here, guys. So I'm going to tighten it up, and you'll see it. You'll see it tighten up. No more slack. Okay, so we're going to tighten that up. Let's go 89 foot-pounds again, and then we'll get in there and we'll activate that. We'll get in here and pop that chain, and we'll activate the tensioner. It'll expand and it'll keep that chain tight. Because right now it's there. It is. Yeah, that's it. And you'll see it. You'll see when you successfully did that. You'll see the chain like tension up and loosen up. It'll act like it has tension on it. So you can come down here, and you can see that this is now tight. This part right there. No more slack. You can't move that. Everything looks good. That pin is deactivated on that tensioner. This tensioner is deactivated, so now it's activated rather, and everything is nice and tight. Last but not least, put your guide up top. 2 bolts right there, and you're done. That timing job is done, guys. All right, guys, let's talk about the crankshaft. All right, now crankshaft, if you see those flat lines, you got a flat part right there, and you got a flat part on this side of the circle. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's a flat spot. On your harmonic balancer, you have flat spots on that too. And you also have to match up the keyway. So what you want to do, if the flat spots are not aligned, just, you know, match up your flat spots with this, match it up with that, push it in till it stops, and then spin it wherever your keyway is. Spin it to that location and then push in. Simple as that. And now your oil pump is working. Okay? Yeah, the oil pump is back there. Dang, that thing is running. Valve job, timing chain, new water pump, new gaskets, new thermostats. That's a wrap, guys, on that one. I did a brake job, rotors and pads on the front of the vehicle. And I'm gonna let it run for an hour or two, and we'll give it back to the customer. All right, let's get this one done now.